Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jennifer Huber, also known as Solo Travel Girl, and since June of 2022, I've been using Mounjaro to manage my type 2 diabetes. And yes, I know this video is a little bit different than my other Mounjaro videos. I usually record those on Sundays. Basically, a lot's going on in my life right now, so I am filming this on my way home from work. And before I get into this week's update, I just want to remind you that I'm not a healthcare professional and I'm just sharing my personal experience and opinion about using Mounjaro to manage my type 2 diabetes. Also, I have no relationship with the drug manufacturer, Eli Lilly, and I have no relationship with any pharmacy that's dispensing Mounjaro. So yeah, Mounjaro really has been a game changer in my life, and this is why I'm a little bit sad thinking about the future with Mounjaro. Since I've been on Mounjaro, it's gonna be 2 years in June, so I guess it's another couple months or so, but I've lost over 60 pounds on the medication. It's pretty wild. But most importantly, I have lowered my A1C. When I was prescribed Mounjaro, I had an A1C of 8.2. At last check, it was 5.6. Yay! I had high blood pressure and I was taking high blood pressure medication, but I no longer have high blood pressure and I no longer need to take high blood pressure medications. I have high cholesterol, and that is, I'm on a statin, but my numbers are really looking good, and I'm gonna link up a video where I talked about my cholesterol numbers from my latest blood draw, which was actually the end of January. And what else? Oh, I had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and that has since been reversed. So Mounjaro really has been a game changer in my life, and it's making me a healthier version of myself, and it's helped me accomplish health goals and milestones that I haven't been able to accomplish or reach without Mounjaro. I've been seeing a lot of news lately about metformin and how metformin helps people lose weight. Well, I was prescribed metformin because I ended up in the ER a few years ago. I thought I was having a heart attack or cardiac event. I was not. However, the doctors are like, why aren't you taking metformin? And I didn't have an answer. I guess I didn't know it existed. So they put me on metformin, and they did say it helps people lose weight because it loosens your stool. Well, over time, you just adjust to that. But I never saw any significant or any weight loss at all on metformin. Anyway, I digress. Why did I bring up metformin? I guess because I've been seeing it in the news and just talking about diabetes. But I still do take metformin. I take 1,000 milligrams of metformin twice a day, in addition to Mounjaro. And here we are. I'm on week 92 of Mounjaro and week 32 at the 7.5 milligram dose. And I did gain 2 pounds this week, so I'm up to 138 pounds. That's okay. Had family in, got a lot going on this week, Easter, but everything's okay. I'm confident I will lose those extra pounds and get back down to 135. I think would be nice to hang out at for a little bit at least. So what else is going on? Oh, my exercise. Well, if you watched my last video, I've been having issues with my hip. My employer has a program where they are going to find me another doctor, basically to get a second opinion, and basically this doctor or whoever they find is going to read the x-rays, read the MRI for me to determine what exactly I have. Hopefully they'll be able to do this before my April 24th appointment with the orthopedic. They said they might not be able to beat that deadline, but the good thing is that I will have a second opinion in addition to what the orthopedic gives me. All right, so my exercise has been limited. It really hasn't been limited because I had a volunteer event on Saturday, and I had family in town on Sunday, which was Easter Sunday. We went out to the beach, which was a beautiful sunset out at Siesta Key. I hope you caught that video, but here's a little snippet of the sunset. But we did walk a lot, and I hobbled along, and basically I walked think it was about 12,000 steps each day. So I think that's about 5 miles each day I ended up walking on my hip, and it was so bad. I used my cane at least twice this past week because I was in so much pain. However, today my leg has been and my hip has been okay, so that's good. I am recording this on Tuesday, not my typical Sunday. What else? We talked about exercise. Oh, my glucose numbers. You can see my glucose numbers here. They've kind of been on the low side. I was kind of wondering if maybe my monitor or the glucose strips are not working properly, but I did the test, the glucose, the glucose test, the one that lets you know the control glucose. That's what it is. I use the control glucose, and it seems like my glucose numbers are relatively low. I mean, they're not super low, but in the 60s, 70s, maybe there were some 80s in there as well. So that's that. So yeah, my future with Mounjaro is really up in the air. I have 4 pens left. And as I discussed in previous videos, that rather than taking it on the same day each week, I am delaying it by a day, so taking it every 8 days, so to say. So rather than injecting myself on Friday a couple weeks ago, I waited to Saturday. So that was last week. And then this week, I injected myself on Sunday. And then next week, I will wait until Monday, and so on. However, my pharmacy, my prescription is up for, it needs to be refilled, and my pharmacy, CVS, said that they have no idea when it's going to be in. They don't know if it's going to be a month. They don't know if it's going to be 2 months. They don't know if it's going to be 3 months. That's how back ordered the 7.5 is, in addition to all these other doses of Mounjaro. I have a friend over on Florida's East Coast, and we've been staying in contact about the Mounjaro supply, and he couldn't get his about a month or so, so his doctor put him on a different medication. It wasn't Ozempic, it was something else. He said it was a little bit challenging getting used to because it is a new medication. But anyway, so my doctor told me to call around to see if I can find a pharmacy that has Mounjaro in my area, or they're just going to put me on Ozempic. And I said, well, is there going to be an issue with Ozempic? Is there a supply issue? And she said no. Because the manufacturers of Ozempic have ramped up their production, so that shouldn't be an issue if I do need to go on Ozempic. So for now, I am hoping that my Mounjaro will come in. Again, I have 4 pens left, so hopefully that will carry me over until it comes in. But if not, I guess I'm gonna be joining the Ozempic crowd. So, how are you doing with Mounjaro? Are you able to fill your prescription or your refills? You know, it's just wild to me that we're going on almost 2 years of this medication, and there are still supply issues. So, I guess part of that's because when I was prescribed anyway, it was presented to me that perhaps I would only need to be on it, you know, not indefinitely, maybe only a year or so. But as more research is coming out, at least what I've been reading, and who knows, maybe you can't believe everything that you read, right? That really Mounjaro and other similar medications are really meant for long-term use rather than short-term. So we shall see, but I hope you're having success. If you're on Mounjaro, I hope you're getting your Mounjaro. Perhaps you're on zepbound and having success with that. I just want to remind you about my tips of advice if you're on the medication is you need to change up what you're eating. Look into the Mediterranean diet or the Blue Zones diet. You need to move more, start exercising if you're not already doing that. I did a lot of walking, Pilates, Pyo, yoga. I wish I did more strength training. It's never too late to start strength training, but I wish I did more strength training. I just need to look and do more things without engaging my hip right now. And the reason why I recommend strength training is because muscle burns fat, and that's what you want to do, is burn fat if you're looking to slim down. Keep hydrated. It's very important to keep hydrated. Don't compare your journey to anyone else. Don't compare your journey to mine, because my journey is going to look different than yours. Your journey is going to look different than someone else's. Mine's going to look different from someone else's. So, please don't compare yourself to anyone else. And then don't have the sense of urgency to go up to the next level dose. Make sure that your body is comfortable with being at one dose before advancing to the next higher dose. Now, of course, a supply issue might prevent you from going up to the next dose, but if you have the opportunity to go up to the next dose, don't only do that because your body is comfortable and that it's not making you so sick. And then also keep in touch with your healthcare provider if anything seems off or if you have questions. So yeah, my friends, that's it. Thanks for coming along on this journey with me. As you can maybe tell, traffic is a little thick. It's about 5:35 on Tuesday afternoon on April 2nd in Sarasota. Yeah, it's a little busy here. We got a lot of visitors this time of year, but I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having success with Mounjaro, and thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate you following me along on this journey. Not sure where it's going to lead, but thank you for following along. All right, my friends, I hope you have an awesome week, and just remember, not only be kind to others this week, but please be kind to yourself. I'll catch you next week, if not sooner. Bye.